I think it's in denial at the moment. I think people doing CRM are still looking for clever ways to gather market data on customers, on groups of customers and on individuals, so that they can come up with the latest predictions of what that customer will want next and can serve that customer in what they think is the customer's context. But I think that the next 10 years we'll just wipe out CRM and that we'll use VRM instead, vendor relationship management. This is a project that started at Harvard University. You can look up vendor relationship management online. There are some fascinating people behind this project, and it's getting quite a lot of momentum now. It's just coming out of the incubation phase and starting to have some real-world applications. But in VRM, we keep our own marketing, our own behavior, our own purchase data, our own histories on ourselves, and then we negotiate with companies to give it to them if it benefits us, not letting the companies aggregate the information, but aggregating our own data on our terms, and then using that as a leverage to get what we want from vendor. Apple is a push company. Apple's one of the best push companies ever in history. But Apple is, just as an example, Apple is going to change dramatically because of the cloud and because of pull. If you look at Apple right now, they have over 300 stores. I think they have 320 retail stores right now. And I predict they'll all pretty much be closed within 12 to 15 years because they're just too expensive and nobody wants to pay that much money for that kind of hardware. Everything is going to go on the cloud and the hardware will be very cheap. So a smartphone will become a dumb phone so that you'll buy a phone for $20 or $30 and all of your data will live on the cloud instead of on the device. People in Asia will be making all the products, all the devices, but they'll be very cheap. And if I lose my phone or it breaks, I could grab yours, I could log in, and it becomes mine. So the way Apple's doing it is fantastic for now, and it's great at the end of the 20th century. But this expensive stuff that's really only good for fairly wealthy people, and not the other 5 billion people on the planet, isn't going to scale. It's a transition. So if you look at media right now, we are violently in the middle of going from push to pull. No one wants to go back to the old days of media where you had to go to the corner and buy a physical newspaper and then try to recycle it, or to wait for to watch your TV show when it comes out at the right time, or to listen to the radio hoping that some interesting music will come along. And if there's no interesting program, then too bad. You just have to waste your time. Everyone wants to be able to get what he's interested in, he or she is interested in, right at that moment, right there. So that's the switch from push to pull. It's a one-time transition for every industry, and we're not going back. From my perspective, the foundation of everything we're going to do in the next century is bandwidth, is access to the internet wherever you are. We can't do all of this stuff online and in the cloud if we're on a boat in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean and there's no signal. We can't do all this stuff online and in the cloud if we're on a vacation someplace and we'd like to do some work, but we don't have access. We can't bring Africa, the people of Africa, up to a reasonable quality of life if we can't get them the information that they need and give them access to what I think will become the place to get educated, the place to get health care, the place to get information, to get job training, and to find solutions will be all online. So the fundamental foundation of that, and for the 600 million Chinese people who don't live in cities, is they have to have access to internet signals. So to me, that's the very base layer that we have to really provide to everyone. We've always been hearing you have to listen to the customer and you have to engage, you have to get closer to the customer. We've been hearing this forever and ever, and it just, I think obviously it doesn't work. And so to me, what we have to do is let go of the rules of how we're engaging with customers and let the customers make the rules. That's why I wrote my book. I have many examples of it in my book, Pull. And this shift of mindset from, I make the rules, I push the product out, you consume it, you're the consumer, you are at the end of the supply chain, is very different from I and the producer, I'm at the end of the pull chain. To be at the end of the pull chain means you have to cooperate with a lot of people you have never done business with before, because consumers want to mash it up. If consumer gets tired of radio, then maybe he wants a podcast, or if he gets tired of news, maybe he wants a dance video. I mean, it's up to the consumer, and the consumer will create his or her own products and services. And so the companies, the providers, will be part of that, but they will not be the whole solution. So rather than seeing the customer at the end of a narrow funnel, you're going to see the company at the end of the pull chain, and the customer will have many other things to pull from, all of which will contribute to their solutions. No one company, and that's why, again, I think Apple and even Google and Microsoft are making a mistake when they're trying to be everything for the customer. If it's not on our system, you don't need it, because we provide everything you want. That's just not going to work. It's going to be information ecosystems that customers will pull together from many different sources to solve their problems themselves.